So to help people sending me their mast units, I'm going to show you how I package and return most of them. And what I'm going to try to achieve is a box which can go on Royal Mail medium parcel. So it's got to be less than 60 centimetres long. And the total weight packed should really be ideally under a kilo. So you'll see these two boxes, which I'm going to use, and a little bit of tape and paper, will come under a kilo. So I'm going to do some pauses on this, but I'll now explain the principle of it. Okay, that's my masthead unit. This one's been beautifully refurbished, of course, by me. And going back to the customer. So what you do is use one box, okay, pretty much complete. You don't touch that box, except making a few holes in it for a little strap. Just drop that over there. The other box, this is going to be two parts. It's going to be the lid. So I will cut about 4 centimetres of this here, all the way round, pretty rough, within an accuracy of 5 or 10 mil. And that will become the lid. To make it a little bit wider, I'll release the gluing strip and just rebend it on one edge. Then it will slip over that as a lid. And then to stop the masthead unit getting damaged or falling apart, we need some baffles in here. So the rest of that box, which is going to be so high, will be bent and folded in here, fixed in firmly, and then basically what you'll end up with, you'll see in a bit, is your masthead unit will be in like this. There will be a couple of holes in the box here, and I will put a twist tie through so it's easy to release and secures it in that bottom right corner. And then this delicate assembly will be supported in mid-air with the cups allowed to turn but not near any of the box, and the sail supported lightly as well, and then another twist tie or fold around cardboard tie here. And then just to prevent them crushing the box, in this sort of area where the delicate cups are, I will build up a second sort of buttress up to this height, so that if they put something heavy on it, it can't crush down where the cups are. So that's the objectives, and you'll see the result. I'm going to use, for the cutting, I've got like a serrated knife I use. Could use a pen knife or scissors, but because this cardboard is so hard, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to start on the edge there, and I'm going to saw, making sure I don't hurt myself, the lid of this box. I'll just pause it while I do that. So you can hear this. I'm slowing down where it's thicker. I'm making sure if the knife slips, it cannot go into me. I'm working on top of a chair, on top of a table. You'll have to use your imagination because I need two hands. I haven't got my tripod. So, turn the desk. That's the long side on the other side. Now I'm near the final end with the cardboard sticker, and then I join up. There we go. Right. So you see what I did? I've been sawing around and rotating the box. I've now got a nice lid which will go on there, and I will release the glue on one side. I like to do the top, which is that one, doesn't really matter. See, it's almost easy to part. Now these boxes, where do you get them? You get them at Lidl. They do pita breads in there, which is what was it? These flatbreads, I love them. Called wraps, that's it. So what I will do, I will just reform that corner a little bit wider by about 5 mil, and then it will enable this box to fit over the top with a two-handed squeeze I can't do. Hang on. So that's what we're talking about. I've released this side, and now this fits over lovely. So with a roll of tape around there, it will keep it secure. A couple of bits of tape in the right places here. before you put it on, just to secure the final shape. And then that box's lid, the lid is finished. Okay, now with the baffles, which is this remaining piece, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the glue off one end. That will be the buttress to stop it being crushed, and the rest of it will support the masthead unit. So all I'm going to do is separate with my fingers these glue joints. It's that easy. I'm going to even do it one-handed, look. And then, there we go. One-handed videos. There should be a YouTube channel for one-handed videos. Don't, no euphemism implied. Right, so that will be recut into the baffle, which is going to be the anti-crush device. Probably it'll go something like that, and I'll trim it down to the height of the box. That way the cups can spin freely in this area later. That'll go in kind of last. And this bit, okay, this gets bent inside in such a way it's not going to interfere with the back, but I like to bend this bit down so the sail can rest on it, and then you cut at the appropriate level a V groove so that you can get this masthead unit in and the counterweight through here, and you have to relieve this a bit so the cups can spin. I'll show you in a second. Okay, so basically I've folded this so that it's going to be the width of the box, and I've folded this point here. It's about 35 centimeters down that edge, and then fold it up, and then this doesn't really matter. So what that's going to do is you're going to be able to support the strut in a V cut here, and you're going to be able to support the sail when this is cut and folded down a bit, and this is a nice place to clamp the body underneath this. You'll see just a bit of cuts and trial and error now. So what I'm going to do is lay in the masthead unit, and I'm going to make sure that this works. It looks like it will. And then where this crosses the appropriate path, I will put some marks with my pen around it, so I'll trace the outline, and then I will know which bits to cut down, and I'll do about a 10mm slot here, and then gradually increase the depth of these things until it's sitting nice and snug. So that's the rough position at the moment. So I'm going to cut this down probably about 5 centimeters deep, and put 2 holes either side of this through the box, ready for the tie tag there. And for the tie tag, you could use string or shoelace, preferably not something sticky, because the detritus up the mast will stick to it. I use this this gardening wire. Actually, it's quite nice and robust, and you can snap the lengths off of it and then do a twist, which is perfect because there's no glue involved. It won't leave any glue residue on this, and that's what I'm trying to do here. You want this to be just supported but not fixed, and you don't want any glue residue or difficulty for the owner to get it out. Okay, those are the objectives. So let's mark and cut the slot here and here so it can sit down a bit closer to its final position. And notice I haven't stuck this in yet. I will, but it's best not to finalize anything until you know it's all nicely supporting the masthead unit. So with the scissors, I've just chomped down a little bit narrower than the width of this shaft, and that's sitting down a bit closer. Now I'm going to get my marker pen and do the outline, and the bits to cut, you'll see you need to cut where the cups go down and through down to the ground here, and relieve all of that, but leave the side structure there. And then obviously you have to cut where the strut goes through and where the sail goes down, but you don't have to cut the other bits. So I'll show you the pattern I use in a second. So I've just done some marks with my marker pen here, just to give an outline of the sail and where it goes through here, where the cups need revealing, and notice down there I've done a couple of dots where I'm going to have my wire coming through. You want to do it so when the wire's tightened up, this can't move in that direction, so it's nicely registered in the corner. That's the main tether of the whole masthead unit. The rest of it is just supposed to support it in mid-air, you'll see. And then we're going to cut down, as I say, to the ground. Okay, so I'm getting there. I've cut this depth right down now. It's about 4 centimeters up from the bottom here, and nice and snug. And I've folded this under the body so it will support it. That's about 6 centimeters up from the bottom. Cut a little slot here just to hold the counterweight securely, and then I've cut around the sail generously and folded it towards the center, so that now I can do is finalize the positions. I will get my pen so it doesn't move while I'm sticking, and I will put in guidelines where this is going to be glued down, and I know it fits. So as long as those lines are still there after I've sellotaped, then I'll be good. And that's the next stage, which is to take the masthead unit out, drill the 2 holes here, sellotape this all in securely, and then I will put the ties in for the 2 twist ties, and then finally I'll manufacture the anti-crush thing in this sort of area here. You'll see. Okay, so next stage. So there we are, we've glued this in. As you can see, that 35 is probably about 37 from this side to where my final position ended up. Just check that for you. Might save you time. Yeah, about 38 actually. Excuse my shadows. I put my 2 ties in there. One's going to secure the body just through this end, and the other one will secure the stalk. Obviously it's passing through the outside of the box there, and I've just glued this down enough. It's quite secure. If it's going to fly and go international, you might want to be a bit more generous with the tape, but if it's UK transport to UK, then I wouldn't worry about it too much. And now we can drop our masthead unit in here, and you'll find that we can get these ties lined up. Excuse my one-handed YouTubing again. And that will be able to twist up securely, and likewise this one. And then I just need to construct the anti-crush baffle, which will be the next stage. So for this end, I'm just cutting off the same width as my top, which is about 4 or 5 centimeters, and that will end up in there. So I just tear those bits off. There you go. And then this will fit here. I will now cut this so it's 15 millimeters from the top, 15 centimeters from the top, and then I will basically glue this in. You see, I've already just twisted these ties in. It's quite secure, and the cups can rotate, so if I did crush it, it can move out the way. That's what you really want, is a couple of centimeters all the way round, and this is free to move, so it's not under any stress, and it's nice and secure. So I'm going to cut this down now to 15 centimeters height, stick it in a way that the customer can remove it quickly, so it'll just have some pull ties, and that protects the delicate bit from being crushed if they drop a weight on top of it. So that's in. It's not a question of using lots of tape, but using it in the right places. So I've got a diagonal brace across here which folds around the box, and one at the bottom to register the bottom, and one down the side. That's also had one long bit of tape over the top and down the bottom, and the other one is a diagonal brace. That's good enough. It just provides that extra bit of support on the case, and you can see the cups are still free to turn a bit. Okay, so all I need to do now is fold that edge a bit neater when the lid is on tight, put some trim bits on, and then if there's any business cards or instructions for the customer, they will go in there, and that's nearly there now. So next job is trim and fit the lid. Nice and snug there. Just 2 simple bits of tape to stop the ears coming out again, over and round the back underside of the lid, and that's a nice snug fit, you can see. So a perimeter of tape round here, and we're finished. Just address labels and stuff, and I think it's quite strong actually. That's what I like about these. They're strong and light. And there's your lid underside. See, nice and neat. So we don't need to do a lot of changes to this. And the packaging is free. That will go medium parcel because it's under 60 centimetres. And cheap postage. And the alternative, of course, is just to put it in a big box with a load of bubble wrap layers and hope they won't crush it. But I think the smaller the box is, the stronger it will be. Cardboard is much better if it's small to take extra weight. And I always put a fragile electronic instruments label on here just to try and help it get a bit of respect. Because it's got handles both ends, they tend to treat it nicely. And I always use put up written here as well. I won't show you that because I haven't done it for this customer yet. But that's the packaging solution that I use. So remember, it's the wrap boxes at Lidl. You can get them free. Usually there's some wraps in there. You can just take the old wraps out and put them in other boxes and take away the half-empty boxes. Most of the time I'm lucky and I can get a couple. You might see a similar box, like flowers is a good idea, but are they strong enough? I like these because they're strong. They're designed to take the weight, probably about 4 kilos of wraps when they're lifting these around. So you want to look out for a box which is made strong, but not over 60 centimetres. Okay, hope that helps you. And you see the beautiful repairs I do on these. Better than new in many ways. This came to me as a basket case. Cups were jamming and the top was swivelling around so bad it had nearly eaten away all of the magnet under there. It's now got stainless steel bushes, high quality stainless bearings, all the O-rings that were cracked replaced. So it's got every chance now to survive decades. Instead of replacing the whole set of instruments. You can see the tools I used here. So I started off with this cutting or sawing knife. Had like a vegetable knife with a sawing tip to cut the top cut out, and then scissors and a marker pen and tape measure, very helpful. I've got like 50mm wide tape, and that's it. Just this wire or string. I used to use string, I now use wire. And remember, whatever you do, it's got to be able to get this out in an obvious way without damaging the masthead unit. It's got to be nice and secure. I can pick the whole box up by the masthead